I love food, and I think it's one of the best things in the world. I know that sounds very big of me, but I don't care. Fortunately, a lot of people don't have this love for food, which makes me a little sad. And it's not because they don't want to eat their vegetables. People with this ED don't want to eat almost anything. It's not anorexia. It's not bulimia. It's ARFID. Okay, the hidden eating disorder no one tells you about. ARFID's a relatively new ED, and a lot of people still don't know a lot about it yet. So today, I'm going to tell you what ARFID is and what I think about it. ARFID, or avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, is an ED where people will eat a very limited amount of food and have a fear of anything related to food. Unlike most EDs, ARFID has nothing to do with the fear of weight gain or body image. It's a general fear of food, whether it's the smell, the color, the texture, lack of interest, vomiting, choking, or just general anxiety and discomfort about eating. Imagine if someone put a live rat in front of you and told you to eat it. That's how people with ARFID feel when they have to eat anything outside their safe foods. And the safe food is basically a food that a person with ARFID can turn to like almost any time. Like those are the few foods they can eat and not have anxiety about it. One teenager, according to the infographic show,
would refuse any food that wasn't chips, French fries, plain white bread, and processed pork products.
and even though he went blind and had hearing problems before he was 18, he still refused to eat anything else. Because ARFID is more than picky eating. The difference between ARFID and picky eating is that picky eating is just a person not wanting to eat certain foods, but it doesn't really affect their health or daily life, and it usually goes away. ARFID doesn't just go away, and people can't just grow out of it. Kids with ARFID lack proper nutrition, and they have a hard time growing and gaining weight, and can face more health problems into adulthood. Everyone's diet for ARFID is different, but common safe foods involve like the dream diet for a 5-year-old. Pizza, mac and cheese, fries, chips, chicken nuggets, white bread. I don't eat much of these now though, but when I was younger, I lived off these foods for like 5 years. Like the foods I mentioned, yeah, a lot of kids with ARFID may like them, but a lot of kids with ARFID don't even like those foods. It's like, you would think common safe foods like ice cream or something would be a common safe food that every kid would love, but some kids with ARFID, they don't even like ice cream, for example. It could be because of the texture, the taste, or just trying to eat it just to fit in, but it just makes them feel uncomfortable. The thing with ARFID is that if someone with ARFID has their safe foods, there's no point in eating something new. If they like their food, why would they make themselves suffer when they could just not eat anything new? Even small changes can significantly affect if they'll eat the food or not. If you change the brand of mac and cheese or even the shape of the bread, they will literally have a full-blown panic attack over it. It's not because they're being dramatic or anything like that. It's a legitimate issue, but a lot of people don't seem to understand that. ARFID is not picky eating, and people with ARFID don't choose to not eat most foods. In fact, many people with ARFID want to eat new foods and they want to get better, but there's this giant mental block and so much anxiety that it just overwhelms them to the point where it's so exhausting and it's so scary to take a bite. So many parents assume that their kids are just picky eaters and they force them to eat whatever is placed in front of them or starve. But what these people don't understand is that if you give someone with ARFID the option to starve, they'll choose to starve. If they have a choice to eat something they don't like or not eat it at all, why would they torture themselves? People with ARFID struggle to eat, so getting them to eat something, even if it's just their safe foods, it's one less fight they have to worry about, and at least they're getting some nutrition in. I know some people are going to say that you can't always get what you want, and that kids need to learn that they can't always get what they want, and I agree with that, but forcing, starving, or punishing your kid, or just anyone in general for not eating certain foods, it just creates an unhealthy relationship with food, and it just increases their anxiety that'll carry over for the rest of their life, and it'll make them hate food more than they already do. I don't like it when people, especially other parents or uneducated people, immediately blame parents of kids with ARFID for their bad parenting. If they think it's so easy, or that this is just a dumb thing that's not even real, or that they know everything about their condition, why don't they make their ED go away? Because according to them, they just need to eat the food and take a bite, and then they'll feel better. Telling someone with ARFID to just eat is like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk it off. It's not that simple, and they can't just try harder. They're already trying their hardest to just make it through the day without thinking about food or fighting someone trying to force feed them. But it's so hard because food is everywhere around them. Food is something that brings people together and makes people happy. For people with ARFID, food is their worst nightmare. Everywhere they go, there's food or something related to it. Going to restaurants is hell because there's all these unknown weird foods that don't feel safe. And then when the food comes out, all the smells, looks, and textures start mixing together. And it feels like everyone's judging you for ordering chicken nuggets off the kids menu, even though no one's saying anything. Feelings like this make people with ARFID avoid hanging out as much as possible or going out to places just because their fear is so bad. They skip meals just to avoid another few hours of food. They don't want to feel forced to eat cake at birthday parties. They don't want their grandma feeding them her favorite foods only for them to just spit it out. They don't want their friends thinking they're weird for not eating the whole time or worry that they're gonna laugh at their food fears. They don't want people questioning them, and they often lie their way out of social situations saying that they have allergies or that they're busy, when in reality, they feel ashamed, scared, and embarrassed about their ED. People with ARFID know that they have a problem, but it feels like no one's gonna understand them, and it's too much to explain it all, so they just stay silent. It's like this oven they're trapped in. It keeps getting worse the hotter it gets. No one sees them and forgot to check on them. They try to break out, but there's no way out. And they feel defeated. They just want to melt away. They just want to burn all their problems. They just want to be free. They just want to eat. They're so exhausted mentally to the point where it's also affected them physically. They're so tired all the time. They get sick so easily from the lack of vitamins and nutrients. They have a hard time growing and gaining weight, which puts them behind their peers and makes them a target for bullying and judgment, not just when they're young, but for the rest of their lives. People expect you to eat and want you to, because food is a sign of relaxation, time to unwind after a busy day, or time to bond with friends and family. You're encouraged to try a bite of everything, grab seconds, try out new food places, and enjoy food. Having lots of food or an adequate amount of food is a luxury, and some people would literally kill just to be in that position. I feel like some people use this luxury to try and guilt trip people with ARFID, or even people without ARFID. When someone doesn't like the food, doesn't want to eat, or is being a quote brat about it, they get guilt tripped because people like to say that they're being so rude and that they could either have what's placed in front of them or have nothing at all. Or the worst one, they'll say that they're so ungrateful because there's starving kids in Africa and that they're acting like this. They're acting so spoiled and they're acting like such a brat and that they're just being a big baby over it. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. What I'm saying is that many people will try to gaslight and emotionally hurt people with ARFID or people that struggle with food in general and say that they're just overreacting and making a big deal out of it. They think people with ARFID are just taking food for granted when they're genuinely struggling with their mental health and just want people to understand them. Because even some doctors don't understand them. On Freaky Eaters, one guy only ate fries for over 20 years, and the doctor told his mom he'd grow out of it, but he never grew out of it until the show. Since ARFID's a relatively new ED, there's little information about it, so it's harder for doctors to explain and provide treatment for it. But there's still hope and ways for you to recover if you have ARFID or struggle with your relationship with food. For anyone with ARFID or people that want to know more about it, please watch and follow Hannah from My ARFID Life on Instagram. She's such a huge inspiration for not only people with ARFID, but the world in general. She's very brave and documents her journey trying new foods while also motivating others to do the same, and shares and even shows her hard
Just
days,
come
which
try the
you don't see a
yogurt.
lot of people do on social media. Her account feels very authentic and has a lot of valuable information about ARFID. Her account and journey shows that recovery is not easy, but it's possible, and that anyone with ARFID isn't alone and they can get better. Exposure therapy also helps a lot because it's basically taking baby steps, because recovery isn't only about eating new foods. ARFID deals with every sense, so starting with seeing a certain food is the first step. Seeing, smelling, and touching foods are wins that we should celebrate, and every accomplishment with food is one step closer to recovery. Don't be frustrated if things aren't always perfect. With recovery, sometimes you have to take a step back, but that step back helps you realize what happened, and it makes it easier to move forward and recover. And for anyone that's trying to help someone with ARFID recover, just be patient and support them. I know it's hard, and you're gonna get frustrated, but yelling at them or force feeding them isn't gonna magically make it go away. So just be understanding. Don't judge people with ARFID, and instead listen to their concerns and be encouraging to them. They'll really appreciate it. People with ARFID aren't lazy, dramatic, or weird. They're people with a mental disorder that deserve help and should be able to take all the time they need to recover. Recovery just doesn't happen overnight, but if we help them on their journey, it'll be so rewarding for them, but also for everyone that helped too. And if you have ARFID or you know someone that has ARFID, tell me about it in the comments. Tell me about your experience and how it's been so far. And if they've recovered, tell me about their journey. I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. I'm Dan the Smarty, and thank you for watching.